morning, it's Yvonne back to do your bonus read. I'm still reeling from the What's Cracking readings, so I always say to you, sometimes the readings, I don't remember the readings, other times I remember some synchronicities of the readings, but sometimes they hit home so hard that I realise that I have things to take away from that as well. Such beautifully deep readings coming through lately, but I feel because I get so much confirmation from everyone that watches my channel and for people around me, I know that a lot of you are experiencing these things at the moment. I know that there are a lot of people at different stages on that journey. You may only just be starting to receive the messages. You may only be just starting to understand where you're going and what you're doing, but the delightfulness of what you've got to look forward to is amazing. Even when life becomes challenging, it sort of makes you realize how much, I'm trying to think of the word for it. I want to say power, but it's not really power. It's like understanding how it is power. It's about understanding that you have more that you can work with than what you realized before as a person. It doesn't mean about control, doesn't mean controlling the universe, but it's about you understanding how to process what's happened in a much more kinder way to yourself. We're using the Golden Tarot here for the reading. Okay, so I have the Ten of Swords coming through. Now, the Ten of Swords denotes that you're going through some sort of ending here. Now, sometimes it can be an ending as in, you know, something in your life. You may be completing some stage of your journey. This can mean, for example, you may be closing down a relationship. You may be closing down the idea of being single. You're definitely coming to the end of something here that is quite, I want to say quite substantial. You're noticing this. It's not something that just creeps past you. Now, sometimes I feel with the Ten of Swords especially, that there could be an ending to some way you think or some way you see your world. Something that you've got grown so accustomed to that you believe it is the truth. And I talk about little things on here because I feel like sometimes it's good for you to hear the simple things we believe that we live our life around. Now, some of those things may be personal things. These could be, say, for example, I don't know, comments somebody's made to you along the way. So, you know, you may have had, say, for example, a parent figure or a parent representative who constantly told you something here. And you grew up believing that. And it may be so believable that it has created something in your life now where you are absolutely just ready to let it go. You may have had an epiphany moment, somebody may have said something to you, but somehow or another here, your belief about this particular thing is changing. Sometimes I see this as the end of negative thinking or end of something that you believed. I'm trying to think of an example because it happened to me some time ago where somebody questioned something I'd believed about something. My favourite one though is my son saying to me, "You lied to us," and I was like, "What?" And he said, "You lied to us when we were children." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You used to say to us, you can't go swimming after you've eaten, you'll drown because you'll get cramps." Mum, that was an old wives' tale. It's like, I believed it. I believed it for a long time. I stopped my children swimming after they'd eaten. We would do things. We would go to the lake all the time. When they were kids, I used to take them swimming often. And when we'd eaten, I'd say, "You can't go back in the water." So they wouldn't eat. They would want to put lunch off so they could play in the water, which was fine. But I so believed that. I so believed it. So, you know, if you've got beliefs, this is why I say you need to be the observer, because something here, you are breaking down. You're starting to understand this. Now, the one thing I'm learning at the moment and have been learning for some time is how much we can work with our emotions to not let them overwhelm us. I always talk here about my nighttime problems, like I can't sleep at night. My anxiety during the day, I am so calm, so relaxed. I've worked so much with my anxiety over the years, and we're talking about someone I'm an extremely, or was an extremely anxious person. So when I see, how much that has changed me, understanding how to watch my emotions, the way I think, the way I go down certain roads, it really blows me away how much more I can work with that. And I have learned, obviously, meditation. I've learned how to relax. I've learned through practices to work with my breathing. All of those things along the way I've learned. I thought anxiety was who I was. I just went, you know what, you're a highly anxious person, you're a highly sensitive person, that's who you are. And it is not true. It's so not true. And I've learned to recognize that. But the thing is, there are things that still stay with me that still keep me awake at night time. And they are not particular thoughts or particular worries that I have. But it's just that when I do wake up at night time, my mind starts to get busy. And I've always had so much trouble trying to understand how to quieten the mind down so I can go back to sleep. So I've just become accustomed to getting up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning and just going about my day. It isn't a good thing. I've gone through many things trying to work out how to put that to bed. And people say to me all the time, try this, do that, try this. I've tried everything. Honest to goodness, I have tried everything. And it's got to the point now where I just go to bed early and get up early. So I still get my 6-7 hours sleep most nights. But when I see this and I see this, I think there is some sort of anxiety, some sort of sleepless night, some sort of energy of worrying, something here that you're starting to understand that you've got more power over it than what you had before. Now, when I see the star, this is about healing, and it says to me that you are healing something within you that you have carried around for a very long time that no longer serves you. You're understanding the anxiety, the worry, the fears, whatever it is for you, that it is part of your journey here to now heal that and move on with the star. The Nine of Pentacles is telling me here, wow, the Temperance card is here too. Okay, again, this is this energy that really came through in the What's Cracking reading this morning. It is very, very similar energy, only this time I have an Ace of Cups. There is some sort of belief about love that is going to be shown to you here. Now, when I see these two cards here, I feel like there is some sort of limitation around maybe self-love here is what I'm seeing. When I talk about self-love to people, they say to me, I go and have a massage. I buy myself nice things. I think, yeah, they are really good for you and you should be doing that anyway. That should be part of what you do. But that's not just what self-love is about. Self-love goes much deeper than that. Self-love is about belief in who you are. It's about trusting who you are. It's about feeling comfortable, about making decisions that are right for you. It's about questioning those things like people-pleasing, which people are doing all the time now, which is so amazing. And even if I can bring that to as many people as I can through the work I do, then I am absolutely giving you the opportunity to say people-pleasing is not a good thing. Not having good boundaries is not a good thing. All those things are trauma responses. They are all things that say to me that somehow or another you are either terrified of conflict, scared of saying no, scared of putting yourself first, and thinking somehow or another that's the right thing to do. Oh, it's the Christian thing to do, apparently. I love to help other people. Well, helping other people and people pleasing are very, very different things. So maybe that's an understanding you need to have of what the difference is between the two. Helping people and being good to people is a good thing. But if it comes at a cost to you at some level, then it is not the right thing to do. So say, for example, somebody says to you, can you do this for me? And in order to do it, you've got to sacrifice something yourself. You need to ask yourself, is what this person's asking of me as important as what I had already said I would do? Am I doing this because I want to do it, or is it something I don't want to do but I feel forced to do or manipulated to do because the other person needs that from me? I have had people along the way who've told me things about people around them and the things they've asked them to do. And I'm horrified to think that somebody considers someone else's needs above their own when they are really in a very difficult situation themselves. So consider, are you saying no to something or yes to something because it's the right thing to do, or what you think is the right thing to do, or are you doing it because you want to? There's a big difference. All right. Five of Swords coming through. We're getting very similar energies to what's cracking reading this morning. So the Five of Swords is a card that talks about conflict. It can be seen as a bit of a selfish card because we do see somebody sort of taking all the swords and running in a direction and leaving somebody without swords. And so it's sometimes seen as a bit of a selfish card. For me, it's a card of winning at all costs. It's about sometimes just packing up your kit bag and moving forward because where you are is just not the right thing for you. But you may feel that moving away is a selfish thing to do. But is it? Because sometimes we have to make the decision of what's best for us before we turn and walk away, even if it's not really what we want. For example, you may feel that you're in love with someone, but they treat you really poorly. There may be a level of abuse. This person may always be on your case. You may have small children. There may be a fear of starting out on your own, whatever it is. But sometimes it's just the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do for you. You don't stay because what happens if that person, and people do that when you're a people pleaser. I'm worried about leaving this person behind. Are they going to be able to work with this? Am I going to, leave them behind? Like, they are responsible for themselves. You have no responsibility to that person. Why do you think then? Why do you go into the mindset of, I can't leave this person? They abuse me every day. They're really cruel to me, but I'm scared if I leave them, they won't be able to cope. What? What are you talking about? Think about it. Observe your thoughts. Observe what you're saying. There is something here you need to move away from because staying there is not in your own best interest. Holy dooly. Okay. So we have some pretty harsh cards coming through here today. So let's have a look at where this is taking us. Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles, King of Coins. Some of you, this is a partner that you are leaving behind. Six of Swords, moving away from someone. You are definitely packing up your old kit bag and moving on from this one. This one here, you have learned everything you need. There is no more. There is nothing here for you. Star Wars. There is nothing here. Somebody will give me the right statement. It's just been a long time since I watched the Star Wars movies. I'm sort of starting to think about that now. I need to get out of that. All right. I'm obviously needing a Star Wars injection. There is something you're choosing to move away from here. And I feel like for some of you, it may be a person. It could be an energy. It could be that you are choosing to move away from a work situation. You may be choosing to move away from a relationship, though. The King of Coins can often represent, well, it represents Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Maybe we're talking about them too, Freudian slip. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. But I feel like for some of you, this is a husband or a partner, somebody that you feel like the Five of Coins is very, very sad, feeling left out in the cold energy. The Five of Coins for me is that energy of feeling like you just don't even know which way to go next. Like you're so low, you are so drained of your energy. Some of you moving away from a partner here though, for sure. All right. Oh, Seven of Cups. You're seeing through some sort of illusion here. You're seeing through something that isn't real, isn't true. You've built up some sort of illusion around this person. Okay, so this is the illusion that comes forward here that's the most obvious one. I married this person, so no matter what they do, I'm indebted to them and obliged to stay with them till eternity because I made a marriage vow. Who said that? Who said that a marriage vow had to go forever? And yet, how many people live by that? I always think, that Henry VIII made his own new religion because he couldn't divorce his wife because he was a Catholic, and the Catholic Church did not believe in divorce. Who stands to gain by not believing in divorce? Who stands to gain by saying you can't move away from something? Just keeping in mind we live in a very patriarchal society. There's always somebody who stands to gain from something. So if somebody's keeping you trapped in a loveless relationship or a loveless situation, and it could be a parent figure, then ask yourself who stands to gain from this limited belief that you have. Because it ain't you. You're not gaining from it. There is some sort of energy here that I want to take even deeper and say to you, because I have this Three of Cups here. And you may have some sort of belief about divorce, third-party relationships, where you can't be with someone because they're married, or you shouldn't be with someone because they're with somebody else. Because I feel like I need to say to somebody here, what about your person? What are they choosing? Because they have created some sort of energy here for you that's keeping you trapped or in some sort of situation where you are not happy. Why are you accepting that? Nine of Cups coming through with the Five of Wands. We have 3 5s in this reading. We have the Queen and the King of Pentacles. I get this illusion here, I hear people often who've been cheated on in relationships, the whole thing of cheating. And they go into a relationship and they get the most beautiful partner, somebody who is absolutely incredibly beautiful. But their illusion is that all men cheat or all women cheat. So they go into the relationship expecting their new partner to be unfaithful. The illusion is here that you've created some sort of idea around something that is not true. And it's creating pain for you in your life. Now I feel like because I have the King and Queen of Pentacles here, I feel like for some of you it's something to do with relationship. The Nine of Cups here though is beautiful because in all these cards it tells me here that somehow or another you're seeing your way out of this illusion. All right, something has to end. It's creating a lot of anxiety for you here. The universe saying to you, you need to heal and you need to move on from something here. You need to bring balance into your life around how you see love. There is some sort of choice coming here where you need to let go of something and move forward with this Chariot. Oh my goodness, I don't know who I'm talking to here, whether it's somebody in a relationship, whether that is a romantic relationship, or whether it's a relationship with a person where you feel bound and tied because the other person wants to have you in their life, or you are bound and tied by society's expectations, or you are bound and tied because you think because this is a parent that you have to do as you're told. Something here is about to be shown to you to help you change that thinking with that Nine of Cups. You are starting to understand that you do not have to be bound to something if it is not what you want. Now, obviously, there are some limitations here. If you have small children, then you are bound to look after your children until they turn 18. If you have chosen to have a pet and you've made a commitment to have a pet, then you are in a place where you need to fulfill that. Well, perhaps you're not with either one of them. You could give them up for adoption if you felt that strongly. Everyone has a choice. But what I'm trying to say is I feel like somebody's got you locked into something here that really is not what you want. But because of the way you're thinking, your limitations, your ideas, society's expectations, you are stuck in a situation here that is really not. There we have the Magician with the Star card coming through again. The Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords coming back with the Nine of Wands. You're repeating some sort of pattern here completely, that you have everything you need to get out of with this Magician card. Everything you need to escape from this. It's all in your head. All of these things are all in your thinking, your head, your way of doing things here. And you have the power to escape them with the Magician. That Six of Swords is really humming along for me today. It's a really big card coming through in the readings. All right, let's have a look at what Spirit has to say to you here. I have no idea who I'm talking to today, but I feel like I'm juggling. I feel like I'm jogging some people to move forward. All right, you have the card of the Fates coming through, card 17. I guess even if this reading just meets a few of you where it needs to. 17 I said, didn't I? This is about fate, karma, acceptance that there are things you cannot change, and knowing what those things are. The Serenity Prayer sums up the meaning of this card. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are things in life you will never have control over. The conditions brought on by the evolution of the collective, by nature, and by your past experiences may be fated, preordained by Spirit for a greater purpose you cannot understand in this lifetime. It may not be in your cards to understand why certain events occurred, but you can accept the mystery and work with those events and your current circumstances have to teach you. This is the wisdom contained in the Serenity Prayer. For those of you in a relationship, it says here, other people are who they are. You cannot change them. The challenge is to accept them as they are and not to try and make them otherwise to suit you. This is a time to look at how you attempt to mold people to fit your view, or how they should be so that you can remain in the relationship and avoid discomfort. What if who they are and whatever is happening between you and them in this situation is perfect from the perspective of Spirit? Now is the time to accept what you cannot change, even if it means that you honour yourself, Spirit, and the other person by moving on. Love unconditionally, for each one of us is on our own journey and we cannot direct that of another. Be aware that this relationship is indeed fated and you are meant to evolve into a better version of yourself as a result of it. So there you go. So I feel like somehow or another I might be talking to people in negative situations with other people at the moment. Don't necessarily think it's romantic. It may be that you are in a tough position with a partner, but I feel like for some of you this may be parents, other people around you who've got you locked into something that you don't feel that you can escape. I'll leave you with that. Thank you.